For thousands of years, humans have argued over one impossible question. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? At first, it sounds like a simple joke, but the deeper scientists looked into it, the stranger the mystery became. Because every chicken comes from an egg, but every egg also comes from a chicken. So where did it all begin? And what if the answer completely changes the way we understand evolution itself? Tonight, we're solving one of humanity's oldest mysteries.
This question is far older than most people realize. Ancient philosophers in Greece debated it thousands of years ago. Even great thinkers like Aristotle struggled to answer it. Some believed chickens had always existed. Others believed the egg came first, because life must begin somewhere. But back then, humans knew almost nothing about genetics, DNA, or evolution. To them, it seemed impossible, an endless loop with no beginning. Chicken, egg, forever. But modern science would eventually uncover something shocking, because technically, eggs existed long before chickens ever did.
Millions of years before the first chicken appeared, ancient creatures were already laying eggs. Dinosaurs laid eggs. Fish laid eggs. Even early reptiles laid eggs hundreds of millions of years ago. In fact, the egg is one of nature's oldest survival tools. It protected babies before they were born, keeping them safe from predators, weather, and damage. Without eggs, many ancient species might never have survived. So if eggs already existed before chickens, does that mean the egg wins automatically? Not exactly, because now we must ask a much stranger question. What counts as a chicken egg? An egg laid by a chicken or an egg containing a chicken? And that's where evolution changes everything. Modern chickens didn't suddenly appear overnight. They evolved slowly over millions of years. Tiny changes happened generation after generation. A bird would be born slightly different from its parents. Then its children would change a little more. And over enormous periods of time, those small mutations created entirely new species. At some point in history, there existed a bird that was almost a chicken, but not quite. Scientists believe this bird was extremely similar to modern chickens, close enough that most humans probably couldn't tell the difference. But then something important happened. That bird laid an egg, and inside that egg, a tiny genetic mutation occurred, a microscopic change in DNA, small, invisible, but permanent. And when the baby finally hatched, it was something the world had never seen before, the very first true chicken. Think about that for a moment. The first real chicken was not born from another chicken. It was born from an egg laid by a bird that was almost a chicken, meaning the egg came first, at least scientifically, because the mutation that created the first true chicken egg happened before the chicken itself existed, inside the egg. And this idea completely changed how scientists looked at the mystery. But surprisingly, not everyone agrees. Some researchers believe proteins inside modern chicken eggs may complicate the answer. One specific protein helps form the eggshell itself, and that protein is produced by chickens, which led some people to argue that a chicken was required to create the first true chicken egg. But most evolutionary biologists still support the same conclusion. The egg came first, because evolution happens before birth, not after it. At first, this might seem like a silly debate, but it actually reveals something incredible about life on Earth. Evolution is happening constantly. Tiny genetic changes are always occurring. Every plant, every animal, every human is part of a chain stretching back billions of years. And somewhere in that chain, there was a first bird, a first fish, a first mammal. Even humans evolved from earlier species over enormous periods of time, which means nature never changes instantly. It changes slowly, one tiny mutation at a time. The chicken and egg mystery is really a story about evolution itself, about how life transforms generation after generation until eventually something entirely new appears. So, which came first, the chicken or the egg? According to modern science, the
egg came first, because the first true chicken existed as a genetic mutation inside an egg before it was ever born. A tiny change in DNA created one of the most common animals on Earth and solved a mystery humans argued about for thousands of years. But honestly, the question still feels strange, because every answer only leads to another mystery, and maybe that's why humans still love asking it. What ancient mystery should we solve next? Subscribe. Enter the unknown.